Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Top 10 Songs. This is actually our official first, just trying to get my camera straight there. This is actually our first video, true content video of 2020. Welcome to 2020, everybody. So as promised, we're going to kick off the new year here with a lot of different programming. We're going to get back to a lot of top 10 song shows. We're going to get back to a lot of best to worst album shows. We're going to do a bunch of history of shows. We're going to do rants. We're going to do all sorts of things, okay? So as we had a fun final quarter of 2019 with the classic live album War, congrats again to UFO Strangers in the Night, our winner. But now we're going to get back to business. A lot more new product shows coming up. Okay, I'm probably going to do, over the next week or so, I'm going to do a little show talking about some 2019 releases that I missed, that I kind of just been getting into recently, that I just want to kind of like fill the gap on some stuff that I should have listened to in 2019 but didn't really get a chance to. A couple of those are dribbling in, all right? And so I'll do a little recap on that. We're going to do a listening room show probably next week as well. So all sorts of stuff, and maybe somewhere down the line, not too distant future, I may do it monthly. We'll get back to doing questions and answers. I know it's going to make some of you pretty happy. So we'll see how it all goes. But right now, top 10 songs, Dokken. All right, been asked by many people to do a top 10 songs of Dokken. You know, Dokken are a band that I always really liked. I think they got unfortunately lumped in with a lot of those kind of hair bands of the 80s. And in my opinion, they were totally not part of that whole scene, regardless of where they actually came from. Dokken were just a very good melodic metal band all throughout the 80s and even a little bit in the early 90s, but mostly in the 80s. The superb guitar skills of George Lynch, very, very capable band who wrote a lot of great tunes, So, but, there are some songs that, mean a lot more to me than others, but I like a lot of their material from those first, 4 albums, all right? So the bulk of what you're going to hear is from those albums. So let's kick it all off with my number 10. We're going to go to the Under Lock and Key album, one of their biggest sellers, The Hunter. I'm a hunter, searching for love. Great tune. I like the kind of mid-paced moodiness of that song. It's got cool riffs, very good vocals by Don Dokken. Always dug that tune a lot. Like that album also. Coming in at number 9 from the Tooth and Nail album, my favorite album from Dokken, Just Got Lucky. It's catchy. Tons of great hooks in there. Great guitar work. Okay. Kind of heavy, not overly heavy, one of their more commercial tunes, but I always really, really dug it a lot. That's number 9. Coming in at number 8, we're going to go all the way back to the first album. It's the tune that comes in all the way at the end. They say it's live. I don't know if it's live or not, whatever. Who cares? It's a great tune. Paris is Burning. Starts off with that ridiculous George Lynch guitar solo, right? It's a heavy tune. It's got a really memorable hook to it. Always really dug that tune a lot. That first album, a little weird. The first album, not very well produced. The band's still kind of finding their way a bit, but there's some good tracks on there nonetheless. Coming in at number 7, back to Tooth and Nail, Into the Fire. Another kind of, this band was really good at that kind of like moody melodic metal that they did, right? And Into the Fire again kind of goes, from heavy to soft. Really good melodies, lots of great guitar textures, and like an absolutely amazing drop-dead solo from George Lynch. I think, for me, Lynch was one of those guys that created like his own like mini song within a song with his guitar solos. His guitar solos are so memorable, and the tone is just unbelievable. Say what you want about that style of guitar playing, the 80s, all those players that came in the wake of Eddie Van Halen, right? Doing the tapping thing and the whammy bar and stuff like that. But George Lynch, always one of the tastiest guys. And I think like so many of his guitar solos on those first 3 or 4 albums are just absolutely jaw-droppingly memorable. And the riffs are great too, and he would throw in all these little fills and stuff like that. That tune, Into the Fire, I think has some of my favorite Lynch guitar playing on it. Just really tasty stuff. Speaking of guitar playing, number 6, we're going to go to the Back for the Attack album. How about Mr. Scary? Killer instrumental. Just amazing. It's dark, it's heavy, it's menacing. Blistering guitar solos. Just love that tune. Love that tune. Would have loved to have heard Lynch do like an instrumental album back in the day, kind of along those lines, right? So kind of an outlier in their catalog, because it's not like the band did instrumental songs, but that's a really, really good one. Coming in at number 5, the title track to Breaking the Chains. A great headbanger of a tune. Love it. And I love the haunting chorus. Just great vocal by Dokken. Just a killer tune. Coming in at number 4, all right, probably, I don't know if it's one of their biggest hits. It's not really a heavy tune, but I always dug it a lot. It's just so damn catchy. I love the guitar work in it, love the solo in it. The chorus is great. In My Dreams. All right, it's like one of those tunes back when I was, back when I was a kid back then. Well, I was probably like, when that came out, I was probably like, 20 years old, 19, whatever it was. One of those tunes from Dokken that I tried to learn how to play on guitar first. Very, very cool tune. I always dug it. Okay, there are heavier tunes, but that one always really spoke to me quite a bit. All right, the top 3. These 3 are great. Really great tunes. Coming in at number 3, back to the Tooth and Nail album. Maybe a surprise for some of you, but I totally dig it. Don't Close Your Eyes. What a barn burner of a heavy track that is. But again, melodic. A lot of those great Dokken tunes had those heavy riffs and those blazing solos, but that really hooky, melodic vocal attack from Dokken. These guys were just great at writing memorable tunes. And Don't Close Your Eyes, again, heavy, crunchy, but haunting vocals and just catchy hooks. Man, love it. Love Don't Close Your Eyes. That, for me, is like one of the unsung greats of the Tooth and Nail album. Coming in at number 2, speaking of heavy tunes, from the Back for the Attack album, how about Kiss of Death? Again, heavy. These guys were so heavier than any of those other bands from like the LA, California scene. Motley Crue and, Poison and all those bands. These guys were on a totally different level, right? Totally different level, different type of music. I kind of always thought like, Dokken and like those first couple Skid Row albums, those bands got unfairly lumped in with the hair scene, and I think their music had so much more to offer than that. So Kiss of Death from Back for the Attack, a very underrated album, probably their heaviest album. Okay, not as many hits on that album, but really, really good stuff on there. My number 1 song has really always been my number 1 favorite Dokken song ever since the day that album came out. It's the title track to Tooth and Nail. Again, rampaging, crunchy, just barnstorming riffs. A great vocal from Don. Mick Brown and Jeff Pilson just killing it on the rhythms. It's just a pounding tune. It just relentless start to finish. Killer guitar solo from Lynch. Killer riffs. Everything about that tune is killer. I still listen to Tooth and Nail today, and I'm like, oh yeah, it gets me just as much as it did back in the mid-'80s. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. So that's my top 10. So you want some honorable mentions? I'm sure you do. What do we got? All right, let's go back to the Breaking the Chains album. How about Live to Rock, Rock to Live? Good tune. Knight Rider. Seven Thunders. Some strong tunes there. From Tooth and Nail, I know I mentioned a lot of them already, but how about Alone Again? That almost made my top 10. I like Alone Again a lot. That was probably their first big hit. Turn on the Action, another blistering, relentless tune, okay, with just manic Mick Brown drumming and great guitar work from Lynch. From Under Lock and Key, I mean, I love the whole album. Unchained the Night is a really good moody rocker. Lightning Strikes Again. That's another relentless tune. It's Not Love, that's kind of fun, right? Jaded Heart. Again, those kind of mid-paced rockers are really good from Dokken. Don't Lie to Me, Until the Living End. All right, very strong album. Again, probably their most commercial-sounding album, but still really good stuff. From Back for the Attack, how about Prisoner? Dream Warriors was in my original top 10. It got booted at the last minute because a couple of those tunes I like a little bit more. But Dream Warriors is a great tune. Of course, you remember that from the Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Night by Night, great tune. Standing in the Shadows, I really wanted to squeeze that in. Heaven Sent, another tune I really wanted to squeeze in my top 10. Dig that a lot. Burning Like a Flame. Love the guitar work on that. Lost Behind the Wall and Cry the Gypsy. Sleeper song from the Back for the Attack album. Really dig Cry the Gypsy a lot. And I'm going to give a little bit of love to a couple tunes from Dysfunctional. Too High to Fly. That's a pretty cool tune. All right. And Inside Looking Out, probably my favorite tune from Dysfunctional. I'm not really big on the rest of that album. And I got to tell you, I'm not really big on any of the other albums that came to follow. All right. We've had, Lynch left. You had, Mr. Levin join on guitar. You had Rhett Beach joining on guitar. You had John Norum joining on guitar. And while a lot of the guitar contributions from those guys on a lot of those albums was very good, I just never really enjoyed any of the songs. You know, there's something about those first 4 albums, you know, the writing partnership of those 4 guys made it all work, made magic happen. I think once you took Lynch out of the equation there, and I know they did a couple albums in the early 90s with him, but, you know, grunge was happening, you know, alternative rock was happening, the band was trying to change its sound to keep up with the times. Didn't really work. George leaves, you know, he goes on to Lynch Mob and all sorts of other projects. Got all these other great guitar players coming in, but man, the magic was kind of gone. Like I said, there's some decent tunes from a lot of those albums, you know, like the album with Norum. It's got a couple good songs, but yeah, it's just not quite the same. You know, I go back and I went back and listened to some of those, and I'm like, Jesus, it's not classic Dokken for me. There's just not a lot of memorable stuff from those later albums. And it happens, you know. But I think those first 4, classic for a reason. So let me recap my top 10. We got Tooth and Nail coming in at number 1. Number 2, Kiss of Death. Number 3, Don't Close Your Eyes. Number 4, In My Dreams. Number 5, Breaking the Chains. Number 6, Mr. Scary. Number 7, Into the Fire. Number 8, Paris is Burning. Number 9, Just Got Lucky. And coming in at number 10, The Hunter. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're on YouTube all the damn time. So what do we got coming up, man? We got top 10 songs coming up in the weeks ahead. We got Night Ranger, David Bowie, Procol Harum, all right, Moody Blues. What else is on my list? You guys want me to just read you the list? Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me open up my program list here. See what we got. If it ever opens. All right, here we go. What else we got on the list here? How about a little Foreigner? All right. Europe, Steppenwolf, Armored Saint, Nectar, Y&T, Traffic, Metal Church, 10 Years After, Man for Man, Fate's Warning, The Outlaws, Golden Earring. This is all stuff that's coming, guys. Steve Miller Band, Humble Pie, Halloween, Blackfoot, Molly Hatchet, Marillion, Opeth, Dream Theater, Symphony X, Atomic Rooster, so on and so forth. I mean, there's no shortage of bands, right? So we're doing all that. And again, it's not going to come up immediately, but that's the stuff that you're going to see in the weeks and months ahead. So stay tuned for all of that. You know, Mike Antonelli and I are going to be getting back together to do like a Miles Davis top 10 albums or top albums of each decade, you know, however we're going to figure that out because he's got such a ridiculously long catalog. We're probably going to do something on Coltrane at some point. I'm still trying to get Mr. Chris Caffrey to do the Sabotage top 10 songs with me, so he's back from his TSO tour, so I'll be getting together with him real soon. I know Dan Brown and I have been talking about doing Allman Brothers Band top 10 songs. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's so much going on. Just got to get it all scheduled and on the docket. So if you love the top 10 song format, there's just a taste of what's going on. We're going to do some history of shows. I'm going to do I think one of the first things I want to start working on fairly soon is a history of Italian progressive rock. Okay. We got the history of Yes I need to work on. It's so much stuff. So stay tuned. All right. Like I said, visit us on the web at www. Wait, let's finish that. Visit us at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on Mighty YouTube all the damn time. We'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.